My cousin's wedding invited everyone but me. My own mom said I'd ruin her day. What I uncovered about my family's lies broke me, but what I did next changed everything. I'm Emma, a 32-year-old graphic designer living in Seattle, where the city's rainy charm fuels my creativity. My days are filled with sketching logos for clients, from local startups to national brands, in my cozy Belltown apartment. I've built this life from scratch, scraping together every penny for my condo's down payment over 8 years. But no matter how far I've come, my family's shadow looms large, always ready to remind me I'm not enough. It started with a shattered coffee mug. I was scrolling through Instagram one rainy morning, my favorite ceramic cup warming my hands, when I saw it, a carousel of photos from my cousin Lily's bridal shower. 34 smiling faces filled my Aunt Clara's sprawling backyard in Bellevue, tables draped in lavender and gold, Lily's favorite colors. My mom's college friend, my great-uncle with his cane, even cousins I hadn't seen since high school. Everyone but me. The mug slipped from my fingers, exploding against the hardwood floor. Ceramic shards skittered everywhere, but I couldn't move. My eyes stayed glued to the screen, my thumb scrolling as if recounting the guests might erase the truth. I'd sent Lily a handwritten card just weeks ago, pressed dahlias from my balcony garden tucked inside, offering to design her wedding invitations for free. A gift from one cousin to another. Now, the spring light streaming through my windows felt like a spotlight on my exclusion. I sank onto a stool, my chest tight. This wasn't an oversight. Last Thanksgiving replayed in my mind, Clara's voice booming across the dining room, praising Lily's promotion to vice president at a finance firm. Always knew she'd shine, Clara had said, her smile thinning as she glanced at me. Still tinkering with those little drawings, Emma? My career, which paid for this condo and landed me 3 national clients, reduced to a hobby. My mom and stepdad had nodded along, silent, while the table toasted Lily's engagement ring. My $180,000 down payment? Barely a footnote before the conversation swung back to Lily. My hands shook as I dialed my mom. "Is everything okay, Emma?" she answered, her voice laced with that familiar mix of concern and judgment, like I was already overreacting. "There was a bridal shower for Lily yesterday," I said, steadier than I felt. "Why wasn't I invited?" A pause, heavy and deliberate, stretched across the line. Then a sigh.
"Oh, that."
"Clara thought you'd make it about yourself. Lily deserves her day." The words hit like a slap. Make it about myself? I'd spent years biting my tongue at family gatherings, watching Lily bask in praise while my achievements were brushed aside. "So, I'm drama now?" asked my voice rising. "It's not personal, Emma," she said, her go-to phrase for dismissing me. "Please don't start." I ended the call, my pulse pounding. The Seattle skyline blurred outside my window as I dialed Clara. "Why wasn't I invited?" I asked, no preamble. Her response was cold, unapologetic. "You shouldn't be there, Emma. Lily deserves a day that's hers." As if my presence would steal her light. As if being her cousin, her only cousin, meant nothing. "Some relationships in this family are strained," Clara added, her tone sharp. "Don't make this bigger than it needs to be." The threat was clear. Push back, and I'd lose what little family connection I had left. I hung up, staring at a sparrow perched on my balcony. Its wings twitched, free to fly away, and I wondered what that kind of freedom felt like. The next morning, my phone pinged while I was sketching a logo for a new client. I almost ignored it, deadlines don't wait, but habit made me glance at the screen. A group message from Clara. "Bring Lily's wedding flowers on Saturday. Good thing we didn't invite Emma, less drama." My pencil froze mid-stroke. The room tilted, my breath shallow as I reread the words. Not a mistake. A coordinated effort to erase me. I screenshot it before it vanished with a soft whoosh. Deleted, but not before I'd captured the truth. The message included my mom, Clara, and Lily.
My own mom.
I drove to my parents' suburban home in Issaquah, the screenshot burning in my pocket like a live wire. My mom answered the door, dirt smudged on her cheek from gardening. "Emma? What a surprise," she said, offering tea. I followed her to the living room, where she sank into her armchair, comfortable in her certainty. I stayed standing, my eyes catching the family photos on the mantel, Lily centered, me half hidden or blinking. I got a message yesterday, I said, sliding my phone across the coffee table. Her face shifted, not shock, but resignation. We agreed it was easier this way, she said, smoothing her jeans. Lily deserves a wedding without complications. Complications. The word tasted like ash. You mean me? I said, my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. Don't be dramatic, Emma, she sighed, her tone reserved for when I'm difficult. Maybe make other plans for that weekend. I laughed, sharp and humorless. While Lily gets married at the Fairmont Olympic. A $100,000 wedding where every distant relative is invited except me? Her eyebrows twitched. How did you know the venue? Cousin Sophie called about carpooling, I said, watching her flinch. She'd assumed I'd be there. The whole family thinks I'm jealous, I said, my voice low. Because that's what you've told them. She looked away, fidgeting with her sleeve. It's not true, she mumbled, but her eyes avoided mine. I drove home, aimless, as 3 client deadlines slipped by. I sat in my apartment, paralyzed, waiting for someone to call and say this was a mistake. No one did. That night, Sarah brought Thai food and wine, listening as I poured out every detail. That's textbook gaslighting, she said, refilling my glass. They're making you the villain to justify excluding you. Her words were a lifeline, pulling me from the desert of self-doubt. Later, alone on my balcony, I watched Seattle's lights flicker on. A sparrow landed briefly, then flew off, and I wondered if I should crash Lily's wedding to confront them or walk away entirely. My phone buzzed with Lily's engagement photos, her caption cutting deep, celebrating with those who truly support us. Messages from distant cousins followed, accusing me of causing drama. My grandmother called, her voice heavy. Emma, I never thought you'd refuse to support Lily. I wasn't invited, Grandma, I said, nearly dropping a plate in the sink. That's not what Clara told me, she replied, certain. She said you couldn't handle Lily's moment. The water ran cold over my hands as I stood frozen, realizing my family was rewriting history to paint me as the problem. The fallout spread beyond family. A week later, Cascade Branding canceled my contract for their spring campaign. We've heard you're difficult to work with. Their email read, polite but final. 3 days later, Pacific Home dropped our talks, costing me $30,000 in projected income. I traced the connections. Cascade's CEO golfs with my uncle. Pacific's owner attends Clara's charity galas. Sleep became a stranger. I spent nights redesigning my portfolio website, each pixel a rebellion against the whispers. I stopped going to my favorite Fremont coffee shop after spotting Clara's book club there. I drove 20 minutes to a different grocery store to avoid my mom's friend in the produce aisle. Social media became a minefield. Each notification spiked my pulse, my fingers cold with dread. I started a journal, logging every family interaction, dates, words, witnesses. It felt like gathering evidence for a trial I'd never win. Then came the anonymous text on a Sunday morning. Some people aren't stable enough for formal events. Your absence is a kindness. Clara's phrasing, cloaked in fake concern. My phone slipped onto the couch as something inside me cracked. Sarah's voice came through the door, pulling me back. I brought Thai food and wedding magazines. She stood there, camera bag slung over her shoulder, paper bag in hand. Let's plan something worth celebrating, she said, pushing past me. A day about joy, not appearances. I was about to ask what she meant when my mom's car pulled into my visitor parking. Client call. I lied, grabbing my laptop as she knocked. Sarah squeezed my shoulder, retreating to the kitchen. My mom stepped inside, scanning my apartment like she was searching for proof of my instability. We need to talk, Emma, she said, sitting primly on my couch. This has gone far enough. Lily's invitations are printed. This isn't about an invitation, I said, standing tall. It's about years of being less than. Her face hardened. If you can't support Lily, Maybe you're not the daughter I thought. The words should have cut, but they didn't. Instead, they clarified something. My worth wasn't tied to their approval. That evening, Sarah and I sat on my balcony, typhoon between us. She scrolled her phone. I've got a shoot in Santa Barbara next month.
Come with me.
We'll make it a working vacation. Tears pricked my eyes, not from pain, but from the gift of being seen. Then Thomas texted, declined Lily's invite. Not going where you're not welcome. In Santa Barbara, the Pacific Ocean stretched endless before us. At a bookstore near the marina, I met Noah, the owner, whose kind eyes and quiet laugh drew me in. You should see my place at sunset, he said after our third coffee. Standing on his coastal estate's terrace, watching the sun melt into the sea, I realized I could write my own story, one where I wasn't erased. Noah's estate became our canvas. For weeks, I poured myself into designing a celebration for 18 guests, friends who saw me, not the family's caricature. Hand-lettered menus, amber and sage florals, a playlist weaving my favorite indie tracks with Noah's jazz favorites. We set the date for May 15th, a sunset ceremony to showcase my design work in the villa's golden light. Then Clara called. What's this about a party on May 15th? She snapped. Fiona's wedding was moved to that day at the Fairmont. Everyone's been told, except you. My stomach dropped. A coincidence, but Clara spun it as sabotage. Family will take sides, Emma. Think about what you're doing. Panic flared, then faded. I looked at Noah rinsing coffee mugs at my invitation designs glowing on my laptop. The date stays, I told Clara. Anyone can choose where to go. You've made your choice clear. I hung up, my voice steady, my heart racing but resolute. Noah nodded, no explanation needed. Sarah texted, your invitations are stunning. Photography's my gift to you. Thomas offered to curate wines. Another friend, Mia, sourced local flowers. My phone buzzed with family texts, Clara calling me selfish, my mom pleading for compromise, but my friends formed a shield. When Clara posted about my stunt, Sarah countered with villa photos. A week before our event, a text from my cousin Sophie stopped me cold. Grandma's asking why you weren't invited. Clara's story is unraveling. Then my uncle texted, Lily's explanations don't add up. The family narrative was cracking. When my grandma called, I answered. Tell me your side, Emma, she said, her voice fragile. I told her everything, my mom's voicemail beeping through. Compromise, my mom's message urged, but I didn't call back. 3 days before my ceremony, she and Clara showed up at my apartment, clutching their purses like shields. We're offering a deal, my mom said. Come to Lily's reception, but cancel your event. Clara added. 2 events split the family. I walked to my drafting table, pulling out my portfolio. This is my celebration, I said, showing watercolor sketches of our seaside event. 18 guests who care about me. I set the date before I knew about Lily's change. My mom looked confused. Why didn't you tell us? I respected your choice to exclude me, I said, revealing unsent invitations. Clara scoffed. This doesn't change anything. Lily's $100,000 wedding is the real event. I smiled. That sounds perfect for Lily. I hope she feels seen. After Clara stormed out, my mom stayed, staring at a photo of Noah and me. Were we that cruel? She whispered. You taught me I wasn't worth including, I said softly. I taught myself I was worth celebrating. As she left, my cousin Deborah texted, Can I come to your event instead? The tide was turning, and I felt the ground solid beneath me. Our May 15th celebration unfolded under Santa Barbara's golden sunset. 18 chairs lined the villa's terrace, each guest a piece of my chosen family. Sarah's camera captured every detail, my hand-lettered place cards, Mia's wildflower arrangements, Thomas's curated wines. Noah stood beside me, his quiet strength grounding me as we toasted to authentic connections. The next morning, Sarah showed me the stats. Our wedding photos had 90,000 likes online. A comment from a design blog read, Emma's vision redefines celebration, meaning over extravagance. My inbox flooded with client inquiries, 3 major brands booking me overnight. A week later, Coastal Weddings magazine requested an interview about my design approach. The irony wasn't lost on me. My family excluded me to keep the spotlight on Lily, but my celebration stole it without trying. Clara's letter arrived, demanding I decline the magazine feature for Lily's privacy. I mailed back a copy of my portfolio with a note. I'm not competing with Lily. I'm writing my own story. 2 months later, Sarah called, ecstatic. You're headlining a design showcase in Tacoma. 30 artists and my work, rooted in authenticity, led the lineup. At the opening, Sarah toasted, writing stories worthy of our lives. The room cheered, friends surrounding me, their belief in me brighter than any family approval. Noah and I moved into a smaller apartment overlooking Seattle's Puget Sound, its light filling our space with possibility. As I hung design prints, Clara and Lily appeared at my door. This has to stop, Clara said. The magazine? The showcase. Lily shifted, avoiding my eyes. This isn't about you, I said calm. It's the first time I've celebrated without fear of your judgment. They left, Clara rigid, Lily glancing back, her expression unreadable. Watching them go, I wondered if healing meant both sides owning the hurt, or if it meant tending my own garden and letting them choose. To everyone who's followed this journey, thank you. You've walked with me through betrayal, heartbreak, and triumph. If my story moved you, hit subscribe and join us, where every design tells a tale of resilience, truth, and new beginnings. Keep crafting your own story, and I'll meet you at the canvas.